Hi everyone, it's Jan from Jan Plans Things and welcome to my video this week. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different to what I normally do. I'm going to be showing you how I put together a digital spread on an app called Zinnia. So I'm going to get straight into it and I'll talk a little bit about the app a bit later, but I'm going to start by using the pencil tool. I really like the pencil tool in this app actually. I feel like it renders really nicely. It reminds me a little bit of like a Prismacolor. I'm going to use a brown color and one nice thing about the digital app is that you've got, the undo button and about every color under the sun available to you. I like to pass over everything with a light brown color first and then darken it a little bit. And I find that the pencil tool itself has a lot of good opacity. So what you can see me doing now is going back over my line work and adding a few more passes. And I think this is very similar to what I would do if I was sketching it sketching it using traditional media as well. I'm going to group all the line work together and that makes it into kind of like one block of items, and that's really handy for later because it basically creates a layer of just the line work. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use a marker tool, which is available as well. It's one of the four, well actually there's a lot of little tools, but it was one of my 4 favorites. And you can see you can adjust the opacity and thickness of it, so I'm going to make it nice and big. The marker tool is like an opaque paint pen really and I'm going to use that to kind of block in large colors. And after that, to get my mushroom, because it is November, I'm gonna paint on like a little bright orange on the top. I'm gonna use the airbrush tool to get that, and that just adds like a little bit of a glow to the top. I'm not overly concerned about painting in the lines at all because it is digital, so you've got a few you can cheat. So I'm just gonna raise around the mushroom afterwards. I think if you're doing this in Photoshop or Procreate, which have very, very robust sketching tools, you might change up the way you do it a little bit. But you can see there I just sent that the colors that I just did behind, and now they sit behind the line work and the line work sits on top again. So I'm just going to speed up the video a little bit while I repeat a couple of the steps. I'm adding a few more details using the pencil tool again, and just like a few little white highlights. I tried actually painting a little airbrush with the brown there, but I didn't really like it, so I'm actually colouring using the pencil instead. I do find the rendering of the pencil very accurate. It's probably one of my favourite little digital pencil sketches. So it is really fun for me to do like these types of drawings on this app. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a few details and shinies to the top of the mushroom, just to give it a kind of glow. I picked a latte coloured paper, and I think it reminds me a little bit of craft paper. So there's a couple of options when you're making your journals. You can pick white paper, dotted paper, blank paper, line paper, and then obviously I'm just going to quickly break into that. I'm just going to group that all together, and then I'm just going to, because it's grouped, I can select it later and make it into another, like almost sticker. So one of the things is like with this app, Zinnia or Pixite, the developers, they contacted me very, very early on into the development of this app, and we did a whole bunch of interviews and we spoke about what I would find really handy in a digital art journaling app that I would sketch and paint in. And they were very, very they're lovely people to start off with, and they worked very, very hard on the app, and I'm so happy seeing a lot of the suggestions that I made being incorporated into the app. And like, to be fair, it's been a bit of a godsend this year because I haven't been able to set up a lot of my watercolors as I would have, because I don't have much space at the moment because of like work from home and everything. So it's been really nice to be able to just bring out my iPad and sketch, and I still journal in here as well. They're constantly updating the app as well, and I've been, I was honoured to be a part of such an enthusiastic team that worked on it. So what I'm doing now is I'm just sketching like a couple of different mushrooms, and I guess one of the benefits of having a digital one is that you can make a couple of them and then you can copy and paste them. The thing is, you can also use a program like Procreate or Photoshop to make all of these, or Illustrator if you like that instead, and then you can pre-make them and import them as images into the program. They've also got a really robust library of stickers already if you want to use those instead, and they're constantly updating them as well. But you know, I think every November I always have like a little taste for mushroom mushroom flavored spreads, even though in Australia November is actually spring. But I guess when I'm scrolling through my spread, most of you guys are from the US, so I feel like it's fall even though it's not for me. So I thought I would do a little mushroom one for this. Plus, I think it kind of really shows off some of the tools of the program. You can see a couple of the spreads I've done throughout the year on my Instagram actually. But yeah, I do like being horizontal because you don't really have to worry about paint dripping on your face if you're lying horizontally in bed when you're using an iPad. So there are some pros and cons, but you know, it is part of it. So when I'm painting in Zinnia, my basic workflow is draw the line work, group the line work, paint over it, and then group all of the paint and the line work together, so that when I do that, I can copy and paste what I've done. So I've basically created a set of like 4 mushroom stickers, and because it's digital, it's not something you can do you know, easily with pan painting. I now copy and paste all my mushrooms, and I just resize them a little bit to make it seem a little bit varied, and I'm going to use that technique to make my header. And is it cheating? I don't know. I really like it. It means I can make my little forest pretty quickly. And I think if you just change the sizes enough, your eye isn't really drawn to the fact that they're all the same 4 mushrooms over and over again. The power of lies. But the next thing I do to make it just a little bit more tricky is that I go over it and draw a little bit of varied grass. Isn't grass great? Grass adds also like a little bit of like difference between each of the mushrooms, and because I'm painting slightly over the stems and a little bit around them, it just makes it look just different enough to make it seem a little bit varied. So I'm still using the brown pencil again, making my little stalks. I like to make my stalks look kind of straight and quite rigid, just to make it a little bit different from the little softer mushrooms. A little bit of wheat as well, and because of the colour scheme of this, I'm going to pick a limeish green to paint over it. And I grouped everything together first, and then I just sent all that line work to the front. And now there's also a brush pen, which is great because this happens all the time when I'm writing calligraphy. I try to hide it when I'm showing you guys the videos, but I wish I could undo sometimes. I'll do a stroke, I'm like, oh, that is just the wrong shape. But thankfully, if it's digital, it has got undo as many times as I want, doesn't matter, until I create the header that I like. They've actually included a couple of really wonderful fonts that if you are unlike me and you know, on a lazy day, I've done this a couple of times, you can just use the fonts and they look lovely. And I actually suggested a whole bunch of fonts for them to use, and they added them to the app, which was absolutely wonderful. And you can use those to make the headers if you're not so confident. But digitally creating like headers in this is also a great way to practice, because you know you're not ruining any paper or ink, but you can make your end 3,000 times. It's fine. I thought any spread is not complete without a Jan scribble circle. So I've added those as my header, and obviously again I'm just going to copy and paste them. I only had to do one, and then I'm just going to paste them across the page. So you just copy, tap in the spot you want to put it. Doesn't matter if you miss, because you can just move the dot afterwards. Not a big problem. What I do really like about having the the brown paper is that kind of makes your artwork really pop. I did a couple of spreads on white before, but I'm actually really liking these browns. I'll have to experiment going forward with a couple of the other colours available. They have like a grey and a blue and everything as well. And also I really like the white pen if you're using the fine liner function. I feel like it feels a lot like my favourite Sakura Jelly Roll. I can hear Humphrey trying to break into my recording area. You saw me delete things before because I forgot what day the week started with. It's okay. I can just delete it. It's fine when it's digital. Maybe I get more relaxed when it's digital? I'm not sure. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It's a little bit different. I have a couple of things pre-filmed that I'll try and put together. But once again, I hope you guys are wonderful and I'll chat with you soon. Bye!